Hello there, I'm Gary Beacom, and I've been skating for half a century or so, something like that, and still trying to skate my best, and trying to get the most out of my training and being able to do as much as I can possibly. I do triple jumps and double axels and things like that, and push myself as hard as I can because I enjoy it and because I like to be able to inspire other skaters with what I've learned and continue to learn in the sport. And one of the things that's very important that I've learned is that, especially as I get a little older, is that it's quite important to do some body maintenance in conjunction with my training and practicing. And I do this partly because I've been told to do this, but partly, and more importantly, because I've come to understand and notice the difference that this sort of thing makes to my ability to skate well. So I'm going to share with you now some of the body maintenance techniques that I use to keep myself in shape. I have some special challenges. I've tended through my skating career to use my toes too much, and I've developed a bit of a claw foot, high arch, and toes kind of curled. So my foot gets quite tight. I've made some progress at correcting that claw foot by this type of rolling techniques. I roll the underside of my foot. And if I haven't done this for a while, it's quite painful actually, so I have to start with just a little bit of pressure, and I'm not trying to make a sudden, instant improvement. I'm just trying to give myself just a little bit of pain here, not too much, just to loosen up those muscles and myofascia on the bottom of my foot. And as I do this more and more, it gets less and less painful. And I can even use a harder ball. This is a relatively soft ball that I started with. So now I've got a little bit harder ball. I can use a harder ball. Ouch. After I do this for a while, I notice that it gets more and more comfortable. Pain is kind of an indication that there's a problem, that I could improve my mobility, improve my alignment by getting the muscles to be in as good shape as they can be in. And one of the ways that I can do that is through this type of rolling. Yeah, so that's the bottom of the foot, and that's a fairly important one, sort of a top priority, and it's not too easy to do. It's not too difficult to do. I can do that standing up like this and get the bottom of my foot nice and massaged. So working up the body, well, there's a nice double ball. This works very well for some applications. It's also good actually for the bottom of the foot too, actually, because it's more stable. So I can massage sort of more along the sides here, both the inside and the outside, by pushing my foot into the space between the two balls, and get a real nice massage there, either on the inside or the outside. A very nice little invention there. So, moving right along, I'm going to massage the calf. This is how I do it. I figure out the best place to put my hands to make this work, and I've got this leg putting a little extra pressure. If this is too much pain, you can put some of your weight on this foot, and right up in here, this is quite painful actually, so I'm going to have some of my weight on this foot instead of putting ouch on top there. And I can roll that whole muscle from bottom to top if I put my hands in the right place. If they're too far back here, then it's too difficult to roll the whole muscle. So you figure out the best place to put those hands and do that. Now if I want to get more, so I can do this with my foot straight up and down, and then I can turn my foot out a little bit so to get that entire muscle and even over to the outside, adjusting my hands in different places to make this as easy as possible for myself. Seeking out the painful places, especially painful right here for one reason, so I'm going to concentrate there for a little while. Concentrate on the places that cause the most pain with the balls, and or the roller. This can also be done with a roller. It's a slightly different some things you can do with the balls that you can't do with the roller, and vice versa. So the roller's better for some things and the ball better for the other. This roller is good for the side here, which right now is very hurting, so this is going to be beneficial for me. Rolling is time-consuming, painful, and a little tiring. I'm working, and it hurts, and it takes up time. So it's difficult to motivate yourself to do this sort of thing because it's just not fun. I don't know, maybe somebody else out there has a different opinion of the matter, and they just love to roll. And I like to roll just because I understand the benefit that I'm getting out of it, and that's what motivates me. It's because I know that I'm going to perform better and avoid injury and pain by doing this sort of thing. So that's why I try to fit it in whenever I can, and I keep the balls and the rollers actually in a very conspicuous place in my living space. So they're not stuck away in a closet somewhere that I pull out every so often when it occurs to me. I see them. I walk by them every day, and so even if I don't have time to do like a 45-minute rolling session, maybe I'll have time to do like a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there, and 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, just whenever I'm passing by the balls and rollers. That's the way I do it. I don't necessarily set aside dedicate a specific session for this, but I try to fit it in as much as I can. Also, I'm traveling a lot, so my schedule isn't the same every day. So I just fit in this kind of rolling whenever I possibly can, and I find that it's a big benefit. So I try to make good friends with my roller and my balls. Yeah. So that's the back of the calf. This is how I do. So the front of the leg is a bone here, but just over on the outside there's this muscle here. I don't know. Yeah, this is the way I do this one. So because I do this type of rolling frequently, so it's not too painful. If I don't do it for a while, or if I run a fair distance, this muscle can get very, very sore. So if it's too sore, I'll put, maybe put a little weight on this foot. But right now I can put it there, and not too much weight even on my hands. Hands are there mostly just for balance, so most of the weight is there. And now I can adjust my hands in various different places. I want to keep my leg in the middle of the roller and perpendicular, right? And so, but if I put my hands more on the outside here, I can get more of the outside of my leg. So trying to get that entire muscle, focusing on the painful places. Takes a little bit of practice to figure out the best way to do this. You want to be able to move your hands around to the best location to make it easy for yourself. Yeah. So now, I feel like I'm always running a rolling deficit with these quads here. They always seem to be painful. Never seem to be able to catch up to the point where they're totally pain-free. So start with the weight on both legs, and I can put weight on one leg, just increase the pressure, and now I can roll the outside over towards the IT band just by figuring out where to put my hands. I got my weight on one elbow, as you can see, and changing the angle to the front, seeking out the painful places. Quite a lot of pain right here, so I might just back and forth in this location a little while. Try to keep the breathing going. Try not to hold your breath. Try to keep the breathing going nice and deep and full while we're doing this. Yeah, so hamstrings. You don't need to remember these particular exercises necessarily. You can just go from bottom to top, work up. You know where your muscles are, figure out a way of rolling them. And particularly places that feel like they're quite painful. I'm feeling some pain on this location, so that's why I'm focusing the rolling there right now. Well, I can use for glutes, I can use the roller, but I can't get this. The balls have a more concentrated pressure in a particular location, so they're kind of better for getting sort of into the hollow in there where there's pain. I roll it all around there. That's a pain location right there. So I'm going to focus there for a while. Balls are very, very good for the bottom of the feet and also very good for the glutes. Yeah. And this is one I quite like. Back. Rolling those back muscles, trying to relax. Crack. Not only a good rolling exercise, but a good abdominal exercise too, actually. Rolling right up the middle of the back. You don't want to ever do anything that causes extreme pain. So lower down here, if I go over slightly to one side, back and forth, I can address this issue over here. I can even put my shoulders down, small of the back kind of, and go back and forth this way. Yeah. Psoas, I've been told that my psoas is very tight. Most people do. So there's my belly button. Most people do have a tight psoas, so it goes from the belly button down sort of in this direction here. Easiest way is with the ball to just lie on it and move around, seeking out those most painful places that require the most attention. Yeah, and other side as well. So I'm sure there's many more rolling techniques and things out there, and you can figure out your own depending on your own circumstances and what your needs are. Yeah, so I have a feeling I'm going to skate very beautifully next time I go out and skate. Maybe I'll be able to get that triple toe loop happening. Okay, happy rolling.